to tell us more about how the Lakers can adapt to this roster for the upcoming season. We have Harrison Faigen on the phone right now. Harrison, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. We're actually just on your website, Silver Screen and Roll, and we're talking about this article, Frank Vogel believing in the Lakers trusting Talen Horton-Tucker, and he had an impressive preseason. We saw him even experimenting to play Horton-Tucker during the bubble. Do you think the Lakers can find minutes for him?
You know, it's going to be really tough. We did this as an exercise for our podcast to try and figure it out, and honestly, the most minutes that we were able to find for him was 9 to 10, somewhere around there.
Really?
And it's just tough because there's so many guys on this team that deserve to play and are going to expect to play that it really does seem like he might be more of and as the quote that you referenced on the website suggests, Frank was talking about, playing him, he said that he could do complementary things, but then also said we see him as a guy that we can rely on to run the offense when LeBron is not on the court or isn't playing. And to me, all of it in conjunction suggests that this will be more of a thing where he plays, maybe a little bit on nights when they have everyone, and then plays a lot on nights when LeBron sits out for load management or whatever.
So you're saying this guy's he's going to be the next basketball god? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. I mean, I think honestly, if you're putting the over under on All-Star games, we got to go 8.5. At this point.
As soon as the rumbling started with THT, I was like, wait, this is what Kuzma was supposed to be. I remember this. I mean, he's improved as well. But
it's funny. It's this is blasphemous. So I'm not comparing THT to Kobe, but there's almost this sense of how it must have been when he was starting to break out, where nobody wanted to be the first one to say that he was legitimately good. We're just all watching him do this really impressive stuff and being well, it's just preseason, it's whatever. But if he starts to do some of the things, if he has a couple games like he had in the preseason on nights when he gets to play for the Lakers, we're gonna have to start talking about this guy as one of the best young players in the NBA. And again, that's a little hyperbolic for now, but he looked really, really good.
And you just wrote something on Silver Screen and Roll today about future Laker Jason Tatum. I mean, how can we find minutes for him when he joins the Lakers?
I mean, I think he's clearly going to have to come off the bench behind THT. to come here and let THT teach him how to win.
That's a good point.
That's right.
I never thought of it that way.
NBA world champion THT.
Yeah, exactly. Look, if you count the rings, THT has 1, Jason Tatum has 0. So,
that's better.
Stats don't lie.
Hey, that's better math than Steve Ballmer can do for the Clippers. That's all I got to say. But yeah, you put up a lot of content today. I was on the Silver Screen and Roll, and then also just to know that you're busy on opening night. For you to make time for us today, thank you so much. That means a lot. And we just want real quick a prediction of how overview, if anything, for the Lakers. I mean, they did get some upgrades, but also how do you feel about the roster in general?
Yeah, so I got a lot of hate for this last week, so I will preface this with, I think that they're going to be really good. I think that they're going to repeat. I do think that they upgraded in almost every area. But that said, I do think that they're going to coast a bit during the regular season. They're saying all the right things about not doing that, but, I want to see that for 20 games before I really believe it, because no team comes into the preseason we're just going to, kind of not really try that hard once or twice a week. And so, I mean, we'll see, but I think that they're probably going to be a 3rd or 4th seed, and everybody's going to be well, I don't know how good they're looking going into the playoffs. And then kind of that 2001 team just turned it on, and everybody will wonder how they ever doubted them. And that's kind of how I feel about this roster. I think they're really, really good and have the potential to be even more dominant than last year's team. I'm just not sure that we will see that consistently in the regular season.
Now I'm curious, who do you think on the East is going to meet the Lakers? I mean, do you think Miami's going to kind of be back in it again, or do you think another team will rise in the East?
I don't, but that's just because it seems kind of everything. I think that they're good and they deserve to make the finals, but it seems kind of everything went right for them in the bubble, and I'm not sure that will happen a second year in a row, bubble or not. And just in terms of the matchups they got and how well everybody was playing, Jay Crowder shooting the first couple rounds, they really just had a lot of things go incredibly right for them. And so, again, I'm not trying to discount what they did. They were really good and deserved to be in the finals. But, I think that it will most likely, my guess is going to be the Bucks. And, I know that everybody's kind of been saying that about them the last 2 years. And so people understandably have doubts. But I think Giannis is going to come back. I don't think he'll win MVP again. but I think that he will make meaningful improvements to his game that allow him to play better in the playoffs, because like he just seems like a guy that works really hard and has a rep for getting in the gym and trying to address weaknesses. And I do think the Bucks got better. Like, I don't know if they got better enough to like make it out of the East, but that would be my prediction right now.
Yeah.
Now, I know you have probably more. Thank God there's a pandemic going on right now, because one of the perks is the fact that there are so many Laker reporters just moving down the hallway. And now there's a Zoom conference that's probably flooded with a bunch of Laker reporters, former Clippers per se. But just to know that you're probably joined now by a lot of people leaving that former team. From all the disgruntling that you've had to hear, has any of the reporters had to be impacted by the ugliness of what has happened in that locker room?
You mean the Clippers one?
Yes.
I mean, no, I don't think so. I mean, that's not really something the team can really do anything about, just because, like, I mean, but that said, like, you know, I will say, like, without naming names, the Clippers, like, they definitely get very favorable coverage sometimes from, like, you know, certain people and certain national insiders that makes you think that they are pretty good at least, you know, currying favor in the right places. And that's probably as far as I will go without getting in trouble. But, like, I mean, the Clippers, like, you know, there was critical reporting about them because, like, you know, like they were what Jerry West called the Lakers. That I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on the radio. But,
it's a family show.
Yeah, they were what, I mean, Mark, with you involved, it can't be that much of a family show. But like, like I think that like they were, you know, a disaster last year in the locker room. So like, there's only so much they can do to stop that stuff like that from coming out.
I gotta ask you this question too. With such a short off season, are you ready to start this season? Because I'm kind of exhausted, and I'm as much as I still want to like ride this 2020 championship. Like, are you ready to like get this next title going? Like for you?
No, I am not. Short answer, I'm not at all. Like, you know, I love my job. I am like deeply grateful to be employed during a pandemic and like in a job where I can work from home, and like how convenient the NBA has made that on all of these things, like caveats, whatever. That said, it's like, it's still my job. And like, I was looking forward to a little bit of a break and a little bit longer than we got, certainly with how, you know, how quickly free agency came together and the draft and all that stuff. It just really feels like we've been going for over a year now, and it's because we have. So, you know, but that said, like, again, I'm grateful to have a job, and so I will get ready, but it still does not feel real. This is like a real first game of the season tonight.
Yeah, do you miss the Staples at all? Like, do you still travel out there, or do you like just do everything from your bedroom?
I've been doing everything from my office. Excuse you. Okay, I'm not.
Sorry.
It's not a studio, Zach.
But I've been doing everything from home. I mean, you can go to Staples Center for me. I'm just not sure that I see the value. Like, if we're not talking to the guys in person and everything's via Zoom, like, why do I want to drive down there? And you know, that's aside from like all the health risks and whatever of you know, just being around people in at this point, and especially in Los Angeles. So like, I will be covering remotely until, you know, the vaccine is widely distributed, unless my employer tells me differently.
Sorry, Zach was distracting me. I'm sorry.
We're doing sign language real quick.
But I was going to say, though, that's the one thing where you could become like an influencer. So you could go to Staples Center, take pictures, do all your photo ops, and then post them so you could get all the likes.
I know. I've seen people doing it. Like, what? You could definitely clout chase a little more than you have in years past by, you know, just taking that picture of the banner up there. It's like, oh yeah, I'm in the arena, and it's like there's only like 30 of us. But you know, for me, like, a couple retweets are not worth potentially contracting coronavirus. And I just like, I mean, all due respect to the people that still have to go and like that, or either their employers need them to go or they want to go maybe for other reasons. But for me, like, I mean, I just don't feel like I would get enough benefit to be worth the risk and just the inconvenience. Like, it's easier to cover it via Zoom. Like, it just is.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, as we're getting towards that the age of convenience even more now, you know, yeah, it's just the new norm. And let me ask you this one more question. Now, as far as tonight, what would you say the final score would be between the Lakers and the Clippers?
Ooh, final score. I've not thought that deeply into it yet. Like, I don't know. I'll just like take a shot in the dark. I honestly think the Clippers are going to win this. I feel like this is one of these things where like you have the emotional letdown after getting the ring ceremony. Like, I feel like, I mean, I don't have any stats to back this up, but I feel like teams almost always lose these games. And so like, just because like, how could you not? Like, you get all emotionally worked up. Your opponent gets all pissed off that they have to watch you get your rings. And then like, especially, you know, considering the Clippers and the Lakers, you know, I'll go like 100 293 in favor of the Clippers. But, again, I don't know. The Lakers could prove me wrong. And, we know Montrezl Harrell is going to go out there and try and go for 60 tonight. So maybe that, tilts the Lakers' way.
Then they could blow up the team and build around him. But
yeah, exactly. You got to build around him and THT at that point and see what you can get from LeBron.
There you go. Harrison, I want to thank you again for joining us. I know it's short notice, and I appreciate you coming on and giving us your insight, and you're much loved over here all the time.
Yeah, no, I'm always happy to do it, guys. Stay safe out there. Happy
Thank you.
holidays.
Likewise. Happy holidays.
Thank you, brother.